So why are we going to use VR or 360 film at all? Well, there's a better retention rate. You actually start remembering it as real memories. Younger children have actually a really hard time differentiating between reality and something that they've experienced in VR. Yeah, scary, but interesting. Yeah. There's increased consumer interaction and involvement. People tend to have more fun. They want to, go back and try different things. They want to see what they didn't see on the other side before. You also have increased understanding and compassion because it puts the consumer in your footsteps, as it were, in your shoes. There's a psychology behind VR which makes it so tantalizing to us that within minutes the brain begins actually believing that this experience is real, and that's what makes it different and fun and scary all at the same time. That being the case, as creators, whether an executive producer, a writer, an editor, we have the responsibility to produce content that is safe and friendly for others to experience. Everyone loves a good skater video on YouTube. If you did that in VR, which a lot of people have, some giggling up here, they've clearly experienced it. A lot of audiences tend to immediately feel physically ill, nausea, dizziness, whatever it might be. There's also psychological effects. Horror pieces are a great example of that, where if you just watch a fun TV show or, Hitchcock movie, you might not be scarred for life, but in VR, it could very well happen. You could have PTSD or something from that triggered. Eye strain and pain can even be caused with extreme close-ups, and we're so used to that now that it's kind of a common issue that we see. You'll see that a lot of the VR cameras are using fisheye lenses, so it's already magnifying and intensifying that experience. But you have to remember that the screen is about this far from your face. So that being the case, you don't want the viewer's eyes to actually be crossing to try and perceive what that image is. How do you control the consumer's gaze? The short answer is you don't. Why would you want to? This is immersive media. The whole point is to give your consumer agency, give them that choice. So I like to think of this as a more live theater experience where you're going to have everything as part of your set. The front, the back, the top, the bottom, everything. If you think about it, there are at least 4 cameras per shot. So multiply everything by 4 minimum. There are also huge working resolutions that all take significant time to transfer, ingest, render, review, and conform. As such, these impact post-production workflows in timing and ability to work through each problem a shot may present. If you're transferring your raw footage, it can take days. Like literally can take days just to get your footage to work on. So you want to plan those things out and have that in your scheduling. Editors will learn that pacing in VR is drastically different. That's because when you're in it, you want to take time, just look around, see where you are. The traditional jump cuts and montages that we're used to can be really confusing, jarring, or even sickening in VR. So editors will need to keep that in mind as well. For producers, you want to make sure you're maintaining a full editorial crew, because that's highly important since every shot contains footage from multiple cameras. Those all need to be reviewed and logged as viable for usage or not. You don't want to be in a situation where your editor has just guessed, chosen from a few select cameras, and then realize that they have issues in the back end. Common mistakes we've actually encountered here are the inclusion of flawed, corrupt, or even non-existent footage in the final cut. So these are real, actual problems that we've encountered. This means that rather focusing our time on beautifying or improving the edit, we're actually forced to simply make it viewable. So that's not desirable for anyone. A lot of times we're finding that we're training our clients in all reality. Really, we're telling them this is what you need to do, this is how you need to convey information to us so that we can work our best for you. The typical budgets have ranged anywhere from a traditional commercial shoot, which you can already probably figure out is problematic because that would be a 1-camera shoot, versus 4, 8, 12, what have you. And what they should be budgeting for are the extra cameras and time to work through all that data. From like 100K for a few minutes, that would be for production and post, to multi-million-dollar projects. So it's a really, really big range. But again, I feel that on the producer studio level, these things need to be budgeted a lot higher so you can have more effective teams, so you can have that previs and that planning and have something cohesive that comes together in a beautiful way rather than everybody having that 911 emergency moment, 3 weeks in. Let's say we have a 4-camera rig. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just gonna be mono. It's just gonna be a regular like 360. In order to have that be stereo, you either need to convert it, just like you convert a movie from 2D to 3D, or you need to have 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then you need to think about the top and the bottom as well. A lot of times, like I said, 4K is our traditional. That's what we the run-of-the-mill that we use right now. We're often delivering either DPXs or QuickTimes to clients. That it's just really what they prefer. And again, a lot of that's determined by the distribution platform that they're going to be using, because there might be size constraints and everything to that. So H.264, ProRes 444, something like that.